I would not put my money on a new formula in the immediate future. They have to do something, and they will do something. But looking at, and I brought this up at one of our meetings, looking at the line items, you call them objects? There are 76 and 119 objects, line items, that were unchanged. Of the remaining line items, what have you done to look at the variances from one year to another?
Are you referring to the first one that I sent out or the latest one? Because the latest one a lot more changed.
Okay. Have you looked at the high-ticketed items?
Yes.
Okay. There was I think it was at the last meeting, that you were going to have a compilation of the legal fees that we have, taxpayers have paid. How does the legal fees of our district compare to other districts of the same size?
We're in line.
You're in line. And how much have we spent on legal fees for the past 3 years? In other words, give me a rough estimate.
I gave those, I don't have them right in front of me. I did provide those to you. Do you recall what they were?
Pardon?
I believe I did provide those to you, those three.
When?
Months ago, but
Months
I'm
ago?
guessing about
We just approved it, just O2. We just approved it at the previous meeting, that I requested it in December of last year. I again requested it in February of this year, and I have yet to receive any information from you. Now, I put it in a form which, Mr. President, we voted on it. And those two items, number 4 and 5, were supposed to be provided to the board. I have not received it.
Well, again, I can help out. There wasn't a time frame for that.
Okay. Well,
So we have number 5. We have the answer for number 5. We're putting together the answer for number 4, which I believe is what you're asking right now. The breakdown of, we're still working on that.
Okay, all right. What I'm stating at the present time, how can you expect board directors, the board, to approve a budget when there are still questions that we have that have not been answered?
I have a question, if you don't mind, Mr. Eliota. I'm not sure what questions you're referring to. Help me out just a bit. I'm sorry.
I believe, Mr. Pike, you have received my correspondence relative to the budget. Have you read it?
Yes.
Okay.
My memory.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
All right, thank you.
you've tripped my memory.
All right. I'm still waiting for responses. All right, in addition, all right, when you get to it, you can submit it to the board. The $1.1 million in salaries, can you break that down as to how much of that 1.1 increase in salaries was due to any increases of union contracts? Can you break it down?
Right off the top of my head, no.
Okay, it would be,
Lou, I can help you with that. The teacher's contract, the average salary increase is 2.5 for the 4 years.
okay, so 2.5,
Which is 2.2 in the upcoming year.
okay. How much of the 1.1 million was the increase in just teachers?
If you look at object number 121, within that will
Oh, I
explain it
have
to
it.
you. And that data that I provided to you, object
121?
number 121.
Okay, I will look that up. When we're looking at $15 per 100,000 for a tax increase, we have $1 million. Of the $1 million, how much do you think we can shave off? If we shave off $500,000, it'll bring the tax increase to 7.5 or $7.50 for the taxpayers. If you remove the entire million, there'll be no tax increase.
So how would you want to go about doing that?
No, that's your responsibility.
Lou, we presented that to you. That was the
Right.
$700,000 we shaved off of those line items there to get it down to the million.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And I would like to also state that we're providing options. We're 464th in what we spend. I mean, we have to be doing a pretty good job as we're that low. Keep that in mind. We continue to cut. Our programs are going to be impacted by that. And so when I mean, I understand, no one wants a tax increase. But that we have to balance it out. What's the best for the district? What's best for the kids? We have our options for which we said we were willing to part with, or not even willing to part with. What we feel that we can part with to balance this budget. I mean, do you want me to go back and look at something else? Is that where we're at? These are our options. I mean, we're gonna need a tax increase. And I will stay up here and I'll publicly state that a tax increase should happen every year. We showed you in the presentations from before, a minimal increase every year is a lot of money 5 years, 10 years down the road. We showed if we didn't even increase taxes over the last 3 years, we would have been out $8 million this year. And while we spend that little amount per student, it does impact our.
Governor Wolf has had the students and children of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as a hostage. Did he sign off on the budget? No. He let it ride. Did he get his tax increase for this year? No. When you state to the taxpayers of Mill Creek Township that you believe, as the Director of Finance, that there should be a tax increase every year, you realize that's dangerous? I have no idea how you could come up with a statement like that, looking at the taxpayers in the audience, saying that there should be a tax increase every year.
Mr. Aliota,
If I
the
may,
board determines if there's a tax increase.
Yeah, I
Not Mr.
understand.
O'Toole.
Right.
Everybody can have an opinion,
Right,
you know, there's nothing wrong with having an opinion. The board decides.
right, and I agree, with that.
All right.
But that can be dangerous, even making a statement like that. Because the governor made a statement like that, and he got nothing. And that's what I'm stating.
The statement is the board approves or disapproves a tax increase,
And I
period.
agree,
Okay,
I agree.
okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
I was going to reiterate the same thing, that it was, the board approves the tax increase. And although tax increases are hard, I have to say I do understand where you're coming from. I understand where Mr. Aliota is coming from, because there are people that just don't want to see a tax increase. But based on the information that was presented to us over these past couple of meetings of what's happened to the district in the past when we have not raised taxes, and the deficit that we found ourselves in, and how that was mitigated to some extent by raising them a little bit, and what we know now about the, before I ran, when I was in the process of running and I didn't know what I didn't know, and someone asked me if I would raise taxes, I was like, well, no, of course you don't want to raise taxes. Well, now I know how we're funded, and we're funded completely unfairly, and we do have to reach out to the taxpayers. Because if we don't raise taxes at all, it'll be Montessori and all ed this year, and next year it's going to be the middle school philosophy. We'll keep cutting and cutting until we don't have anything here. I mean, I don't think it's dangerous to say we're gonna have to raise taxes, but I think it's a very real part of our reality here in Mill Creek that we need to deal with. And based on the evidence that you've shown us, I can't say that we'll never not be able to raise taxes and have a functioning school district. I don't see how we would do it besides not having a school district. So that's my input.